This tutorial shows you how to make the most of the group tool activity in your Moodle course. With the help of the group tool, for example, student self-registrations to groups can be carried out, individual group sizes can be defined, or students can be automatically imported into groups based on a list of their student ID numbers. To create the activity, click on Turn Editing On. Then, in the course section of your choice, click Add an activity or resource. In the selection window, choose Group Tool. You will be directed to the Settings page, where you first have to enter a name. After that, please enter a description, such as Sign up for a group here. Next, define the time period in which the activity should be available. For this, activate the corresponding checkboxes. Under the Instance settings, you can now see the advanced functions of the activity. With this activity, we will now prepare a group registration where students can independently join groups. To do this, set the parameter Enable Self-Registration to Yes. Instructors of the course can also determine whether or not students see other group members. In this case, we would like to prevent this and select No. Then, define whether you want to allow deregistration. Furthermore, you can define group sizes for all groups. Activate the corresponding checkbox. Enter, for example, 3 as the group size. Optionally, you can also use queues for group registration or allow students to register in multiple groups at the same time. Finally, we point out one important aspect. In the multimedia tutorial, Create and Use Groups, we showed you how you can create groups and fill them with users. Note that the groups in this group tool activity also show up under Moodle groups. However, you determine how changes may be applied here. Finally, to create the activity, click on Save and Display. Under the Administration tab, you can not only manage the groups, but also create them. First, open the sub-tab Create Groups. First, define the mode here. Here you have the option to create groups based on a number of groups. For example, 7 groups, or based on the number of members. For example, groups of 3 members each. You also have the option to create one-member groups, or to create groups of a certain interval. For example, group 7 to group 10. With the 5th option, you can combine a certain number of groups with a specific number of members in one step. For the tutorial, 7 groups are needed. Therefore, select the Define Number of Groups mode and enter the value 7 in the Number of Groups n parameter. Then declare which criteria should be used to assign students to groups. With the entry No Allocation, empty groups are created. This setting is especially useful in combination with the self-registration of students. Furthermore, students can be assigned randomly or according to various criteria of the alphabet. Select No Allocation here. The next step is to define the naming scheme of the group names. Note that all groups must be named uniquely. Use the tags hash and @ to add either a sequence number 1, 2, 3 for hash or an alphabetical sequence ABC for @ as a distinguishing element. The group hash entry generates groups named group 1 through group 7. Then click Create Groups. to create the groups. In the preview, check if the selected settings create the desired groups. Confirm this by clicking on Continue. Now switch to the Administrate Groups sub-tab. You can see that the groups have been successfully created. 3 views are available here, one each for the active groups, for the inactive groups, and a view for both, that is, the active and inactive groups. In the Status column, you can see at a glance whether a group is enabled for group registration based on the color coding. You can change the order of the groups with the Move tool by drag and drop, as well as step by step with the arrows. You can subsequently adjust the group names using the pencil icons. For example, we change Group 7 to Substitute Group. Group sizes can also be changed using the pencil icons. For example, change the size of Group 6 to 5. You can remove unneeded groups with the dustbin icon if necessary. A tip: group features can be manipulated not only individually. All multiple groups selected with the checkboxes can also be activated, deactivated, deleted, or added to a grouping simultaneously, with a drop-down element with Selected. Under the Registration tab, you will see a preview of the student registration screen. Here you can check if all groups with the desired conditions are available for students. Furthermore, in this view you can also see the status of the ongoing group registration. The group registration can start now. You can follow the status of student registrations here. Under the tab Participants, you get a clear overview of all registrations, student names, as well as queues of all groups. Here you can also download all registrations in different file formats. At some AMC partner universities, the option Grading is also available in the group administration. This allows you to transfer student evaluations of a particular activity to group colleagues. Under the Manage Group Users tab, you can import or deregister multiple students at once to or from a group. The procedure is the same for both processes. To do this, select the group and enter the student ID numbers or usernames, separated by commas, in the user list field. At the bottom of the page, you can start the process.